Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. I'm Alina Islam, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. I'm very excited to present Aztec Minerals to you today, an exploration company focused on discovering large gold and silver polymetallic deposits in the Americas. To give you an overview of the company, as well as discuss upcoming plans for its Tombstone and Cervantes projects, we have Simon Dykowski, President and CEO. Once Simon's presentation is over, we will conclude with a Q&A session. So please put your questions into the chat box and we'll get through as many as we can at the end. Before we get started, I do need to mention the fine print. For Aztec Minerals, there may be some forward-looking statements made on this webinar. Please read the cautionary note on page 2 of the Aztec Minerals corporate presentation located on the company's website. For Red Cloud Securities, I would highlight that this webinar is for information purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation to purchase or sell securities or a recommendation to buy or sell securities. We note that this webinar does not take into account the particular situation or needs of individual investors. Participants should rely on their own investigations and seek their own professional advice before investment. Please see our most recent research located on our website for Aztec Minerals specific disclosures. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Simon. Please take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for going through the legal disclaimer. So I will skip through that. So thanks everybody for tuning in today and for watching the replay. We thought it was a good time to provide an overview of the company's strategy and our upcoming catalyst now that we've recently closed a $3.6 million oversubscribed financing. That was closed a couple of weeks ago, May 13th, and we are now gearing up to deploy that money on some exploration plans at actually both of our properties. So be happy to jump into the details on that as we go through the presentation. As an overview of the company, and as Alina mentioned, we are focused on making large gold and silver discoveries in world-class mining jurisdictions. So right now we are focused primarily in Arizona in the United States, specifically in Cochise County on the Tombstone property. We do have a North American focus, which is also supported with our property in Sonora, Mexico, in eastern Sonora. So we're focused, really in a specific geography, although it spans 2 different countries and 2 different states. Our management team has a proven track record of creating value through discovery, development, and production. As mentioned, we believe our projects are in 2 mining-friendly jurisdictions, particularly Arizona. We now own a 78.7% JV interest in the Tombstone property and project. This contains past producing open pit heap leach oxide gold silver mine and numerous pre-1950 high-grade underground silver and gold mines. We also own 100% of the Cervantes project, and this is near multiple mines and projects that are under development currently. We've had good success drilling our discovery at Tombstone so far through 4 passes of drilling over the last 4 years. This has been focused on the contention zone, where we've made a shallow and broad oxide gold silver discovery. Recent drill highlights include 32 meters of 6.28 grams per ton gold equivalent, 65.5 meters of 3.4 grams gold equivalent, and bonanza grade silver of 1.5 meters of 7,269 grams silver equivalent within a broader zone of 25.8 meters of 569 grams per ton silver equivalent. The Tombstone property also hosts a deeper sulfide CRD silver-lead-zinc target, which is in the style of the Taylor Hermosa discovery. And this is indicated by a historic drill hole and a natural source AMT survey. This is yet to be drilled. At Cervantes, we have drilled a shallow gold zone at the California zone target. The highlight drill interval, which we've uncovered, there is 137 meters of 1.49 grams per ton gold, and another highlight intersection was 165 meters, averaging 1 gram per ton gold. And since 2017, we have a track record of successful drilling and discovery there, where we've expanded what is now a significant bulk tonnage gold target. The property hosts a 6-kilometer structural trend with multiple geologically similar gold exploration targets. A little bit about our strategy. So why are we looking to make large discoveries? This is really because the mining industry has transformed over recent decades into one where major mining companies are focused on developing and producing gold and silver deposits, but they rely on junior explorers to make the discoveries, which they then can come in and acquire to replenish their reserve requirements. And what that means for investors is when a junior discovery is successfully made, there's the potential for outsized returns if the major companies decide to come in and target acquisition of those projects. Why are we focused on North America, particularly Arizona? We think it's one of the best mining jurisdictions in the world for low political risk, established rule of law, reasonable taxes, well-developed infrastructure, and still having strong discovery potential. We also feel our valuation is attractive here, just under $30 million Canadian market cap, and we note that nearly 40% of our shares are closely held. The precious metal cycle is now underway, with gold breaking to new all-time highs and silver potentially following suit, and then the base metals tend to lag and outperform after gold has made the initial move. And so we also believe that the majors are soon to be hungry to be making deals. A little bit on our management, directors, and advisors. So I'm the CEO of the company, come from a capital markets background. We have an exceptional technical staff that helps us and runs the team with me. So David Heil is a 40-year experience in geology based in Denver, Colorado. On the board level, we have Mark Rebliati, a renowned geologist who has been inducted into the Canadian Mining Hall of Fame for his role in several major porphyry discoveries. Also, Patricio Veras, a well-known geologist and entrepreneur in Vancouver. And some financial people that round out the team. So we have a good experience here of making discoveries, operating, and selling companies. A note on our capital structure. We have currently 143.7 million shares outstanding. Fully diluted, we're at 196 million shares outstanding. Insiders own 11%. And there's a closely held group of institutional investors behind us that holds about 34% in addition to the insider holdings. And included in our insider holdings is an investment made by Alamos Gold, who own about 6.5% of our shares. In our notable shareholder list, note the second bullet point, Crescat Capital recently participated in our non-brokered private placement, which closed a couple of weeks ago. They've become a strategic shareholder of ours, and we now have working capital of approximately 3.6 million Canadian dollars, which is soon to be deployed in the field at both of our properties, but with a drilling focus on Tombstone. A note on where our properties are located. So as I described earlier, we're in basically the same laramide porphyry belt here. However, one of the properties lies in Arizona and one lies in Sonora, Mexico. Zooming in a little bit on the Tombstone property, you can see here where it sits in relation to the major city of Tucson, and the red stars on our map here denote Tombstone's location and proximity to a number of well-known porphyry discoveries, and then more CRD style mineralization can be seen with the blue stars. And the most notable example here of a recent discovery is the Taylor deposit, which sits approximately 60 kilometers to our southeast. And as a reminder to investors, this was a discovery made beneath a past producing silver district known as Hermosa, and the small silver district now hosts one of the largest zinc primary deposits recently discovered at over 100 million tons of 10% zinc equivalent. This was discovered by a junior company known as Arizona Mining and was acquired by South 32 out of Australia in 2018 for approximately $1.8 billion in an all-cash takeout. So we highlight that as the potential for what a big discovery can fetch in the market if it's successful. Zooming in on our project geology, so we have a core position here of patented claims. So these are private mining claims where the joint venture that we control 78.7% of owns not only the mineral, but also the water and the surface rights. So this is a very advantageous form of land holding when it comes to development and permitting of potential future mining operations. And so on this image here, the core of our property is all patented mining claims, which is great news for us as we are focused on making discoveries within those boundaries. The mining symbols that you can see on this map denote some of the district's past producing silver mines that were in operation in the district's heyday between around 1880 and 1920. And if you zoom a little closer in where it says Main Pit and Grand Central, that is an area of open pit mining that was developed in the late 1970s into the mid 80s when the gold and silver price had a couple decade long run there during the last sort of monetary reset in the United States. So that was partially mined in the 1980s and then mothballed in the late 80s and hasn't really seen much discovery drilling since that era until Aztec came into the property in 2018 and started exploring and planning to drill. We've now since drilled 4 times. We've drilled just under 70 drill holes, almost 10,000 meters of shallow drilling, and we've greatly expanded on the former footprint of the open pit mine. And our CRD target lies at depth below this open pit mine. Just in reference to the drilling that we've completed to date, this is a map ranking the results of the drill holes that we've put in. And this is a non-43101 compliant metric known as gold equivalent grade thickness. So it cannot be construed as gross metal value. And I'd caution investors on putting too much reliance on this, but it does help us sort of demonstrate the continuity of the mineralization here. So the red dots here are drill holes that have returned over 100 gold equivalent gram meter holes. Orange are between 50 and 100 and yellow between 20 and 50. And you can see that those results are well dispersed east, west, and north, south along the primary contention trend. And we're starting to see some indications that we think the mineralization can be extended now, not only into the west side area, but also into the southern extension. Our last round of drilling presented us with a very interesting discovery hole. This is TR 2416, where towards the southern extension target, we've now really opened up this southern zone with a drill hole of our highest silver grade drilled to date at Tombstone. The broader intersection here was 67.1 meters of 229 grams silver equivalent. This is an exceptional result, all in oxides, and this is situated just about 30 meters below the bottom of the existing open pit footprint. So it's very shallow, it's oxidized. The style of mineralization in which the silver is hosted is called cerargyrite or silver chloride. So this is silver that is amenable to leach extraction. And it was also paired with some high grades of gold. So we are very encouraged by this result in our future drilling plans, which are currently being finalized. Do tentatively expect to have a number of drill holes situated in this southern extension target with hopes of expanding on this high-grade silver zone that's been a total new discovery for us. So this was disclosed in late January of this year. It has not yet been followed up with any future drilling, but that's coming in our upcoming program. So just to close off on our recent drilling program, we drilled 17 holes in Q4 of 2024. The program was expanded from 2,000 to over 3,000 meters planned. This was due in part to two factors, one of them being excellent performance by the drillers and the machine. coming in under budget. So we were able to generate additional drill targets from the second factor, which was the drilling success that we saw. So we were confident to expand the program, and our upcoming drill program is planned to be an additional 3,000 meters of RC drilling of step-out targets to the southern extension into the west side area, but also pairing that with now 2,000 meters of core drilling into our CRD target. So that'll be 3 holes in which we plan to extend on previously drilled RC drill collars that have casing left in them, and then they will be extended by approximately 600 plus meters each into our sulfide target at depth. I'll get into that in a moment here, explaining why we're excited about those targets, but in sum, we're planning 5,000 meters of total drilling to commence over the next month or so. We'll have disclosure on that when the drill program is finalized and when it's commencing. A little bit just on our open pit oxide target and why we have been pursuing this and continuing to pursue this. Basically, open pit oxide heap leach mining is one of the cheapest methods of mineral extraction in the industry today. Low OPEX, low CAPEX, and the typical heap leach mine in the Western US runs a grade of anywhere from 0.4 to 0.6 grams per ton gold. That makes our recent drill results and our shallow target much higher grade in comparison. We know that this open pit mine had good recoveries in the 1980s, 75% of the gold, 60% of the silver, with only minor crushing and very short leach cycles. We think that can be improved on with a modern engineering plan. Our drilling has been successful over the last 4 years. The 9,600 meters have yielded an expansion of the bulk tonnage. It's a wide zone with compelling grades of both gold and silver along the entire 900 meter length of the mineralized zone, with depth, the mineralized depth now up to and exceeding 200 meters deep. And we still believe it's wide open for expansion. So that's why our upcoming drill program will include an additional 3,000 meters of shallow drilling to expand on this open pit target. And now that we have confidence in the drill methodology and our targeting, we're also going to be including this deeper CRD aspect of the drilling as well. So just a couple of slides here to just show in another dimension how shallow this mineralization that we've been drilling is. You can see in our stylized drill cross sections here the outline of the contention pit and where our gold and silver mineralization picks up. In some cases, just 20 to 30 meters below the surface. So what this means in the future would be the potential for a low strip ratio open pit operation. And this is demonstrated up and down the entire nearly 1 kilometer strike length of the known mineralization to date. So a couple of cross sections just to demonstrate that. Won't spend too much time on these, but you can view these in greater detail on our website if that's of interest. And then looking at a longitudinal section to put together some of those cross sections into further context, you can see that the gold and silver mineralization is quite consistent along that section line, which is still open. And in fact, we're planning to drill further south of the furthest extent of drilling, as well as to push the boundaries out to the west and the east in this program. So we don't have a resource on this property yet. I know that question will come up, and the reason really is that we haven't closed off our model yet, and our exploration and discovery model is still valid, and we believe that it justifies an additional 3,000 meters, 16, 17 holes of additional drilling before determining if we closed it off and if it's time to quantify ounces in the shallow target. So we're not there yet. Some highlights of what we've drilled in the shallow target in gold equivalent. So these are top 10 holes. I mean, I won't list them all off, but they are exceptional, especially in the context of being oxidized and shallow. I'll read off maybe the top two here. 106 meters of 1.85 grams per ton gold equivalent, 65 meters, 3.4 grams gold equivalent, 96 meters, 2.2. And you can see down the list, we have a number of results of this nature. So we hope to continue to drill expansions of this model over the coming months. Our new geologic model that has been validated by recent drilling does indicate potential to expand into the west side target area. So our initial first pass drill holes in our last campaign were successful in that, and our upcoming program plans to continue to drill test towards the west side target area. And notably in this west side target area, in the inset zoom ins here, you can see a couple of historic stopes, and we just noted what the production from these stopes were back in the yesteryear. So for example, the west side fissure historic production from 1888 to 1894 was reported to be about 5,000 tons of 67 ounces per ton silver, 1.3 ounces per ton gold, and almost 10% lead. So that just goes to show the high grade nature of the mineralization that was mined over 100 years ago. Similarly, in the sulfurette stope, that was mined between 1904 and 5. The average grade there was 70 ounces per ton silver with a gold silver ratio set at 1:1. So a high grade of gold and silver there. And so, we believe that there is residual mineralization there that we can prove out alongside of some of these stopes. And we've now identified some of the controlling geologic features that drove these mineralizing events, and we're targeting our future drilling towards those out toward the west side. Now a little bit into our CRD discovery model. Why are we excited to finally drill test the CRD mineralization? And really, for investors, I think the main thing to recognize is that a large underground sulfide deposit, if discovered, can be worth a lot of money to a diversified miner. And that's exactly what happened in 2015 to 18 when Arizona Mining expanded on the discovery of the Taylor deposit. Why do we think that we have a compelling CRD target below Tombstone? This has been studied by our group for almost 8 years now, and the strongest evidence for us to go and now drill test into the limestone horizon below the shallow Bisbee group hosted gold silver system is really a single drill hole that was put in 1989 by Santa Fe Mining. They weren't able to drill much underneath the contention open pit, but they were able to get one hole down. They didn't have an option on that part of the property, but the part that they did, they snuck one in towards the north end of the contention pit, and at 650 meters deep, they hit an intersection of 7.2 meters of a combined 9.1% lead zinc, 0.6% copper, an ounce of silver, and a sniff of gold. And so this is reminiscent of Taylor Hermosa style mineralization, never been followed up on. So number one, that's why we're excited to go and follow up on this. Number two, we've done some deep geophysical surveys, including a natural source AMT survey a few years ago. And what that has showed us is that approximately 500 meters south of the historic CRD intersection at a similar depth, there resides a large conductor in the Paleozoic limestones, 2 large conductors, as a matter of fact. And so we interpret these to represent a potential CRD ore body. So we now need to drill test these anomalies, and we have selected the targets now. In fact, hole 16 that we drilled last year is actually a pre-caller for deeper drilling. So this is a hole where we were drilling really just to leave casing in the hole so that we could come in and complete it with core later on. And we just so happen to hit high-grade silver at the top of that hole, which only goes to support our deeper CRD theory. Zooming in just a little bit on our targets here, hole 13, which is also a pre-caller. You can see how this hole terminated at 185 meters. This has got casing all the way down, and it's now into the limestone bed, which is more suitable for core drilling. So this is one of our first upcoming CRD targets. This hole will be extended by anywhere from 500 to 800 meters, depending on how the hole looks, and it is designed to confirm the historic CRD intercept of 7.1 meters of about 10% metal. And then hole 16, you can see on cross section here, you can see how it's oriented right towards the top of this resistivity low, which we interpret to be the potential target for CRD mineralization. So approximately 200 to 300 meters below the total depth of hole 16 is where we see the strongest part of our geophysical anomaly. We will be drill testing that as well. And additionally, we're planning a hole coming in from the south and oriented towards the northeast. So we'll have 3 initial tests of the CRD mineralization this summer as our 5,000 meter drill program gets kicked off. So in summary on Tombstone, we are in the final stages of planning a 5,000 meter drill program. We're the operator of a now 79-21 Tombstone JV with our partners. We've increased our interest in this property over the last year from 75 to now 79%. The property is extremely well located in comparison to other projects. Primarily, our top priority geologic targets are patented land. We have a permitted aggregate operation on site, road access, paved road access, in fact, great infrastructure in a historic mining town with full services, including power and water. It's a historic silver district that had production of 32 million ounces of silver and 250,000 ounces of gold between 1880 and 1940 from oxidized CRD deposits and vein systems. Our drilling over the last 4 years has been successful. Almost every hole is hit, so we hope to continue on in that manner. And we have multiple unexplored targets, so we're excited to get going on this over the next few weeks now that we're cashed up. And then maybe I'll spend just a couple minutes on Cervantes. This is our other flagship property that we own 100% of. This is surrounded by a number of very well-known development, operating, and past-producing open-pit heap leach mines in eastern Sonora. Sonora is known to be a mining-friendly jurisdiction within Mexico. There are obviously some political issues in Mexico over the last few years. Those are believed to be or speculated to be in a resolution process right now. But I'll note that Sonora, the government of Sonora is very supportive of open pit mining. So it's good to have the local communities and government on the industry side in that respect. And we're hearing good things potentially coming down with permits being granted. We're in a very early stage of exploration here, but obviously sentiment drives a lot in the exploration industry. So we're hopeful that over the course of the year, we'll have some positive news for open pit mining in Mexico. And to that end, we're planning a drill program, or it's not a drill program, but an exploration program to follow up on our already drilled discovery. So we're planning to mobilize over the next couple of weeks a field program to test extensions of the California zone to the east, to California north, and to the Brazil target. And the field program is really 2/3 intended here to expand on the California zone to the north and to the east. So we'll have sampling and mapping going on and hopefully additional drill targets generated through that. And then a generative targeting program at the Brazil target where we think there's potential for high-grade gold system further south. So we'll have the results of that out over the summer. And as market conditions and results dictate, we will inform the market of plans for potential future drilling later this year. So we're back to work at Cervantes. This has been an excellent discovery for us. Just highlighting some of the oxide gold highlights of our California zone discovery. We still think it's wide open to expand both in the porphyry gold and copper model. And we look forward to getting back to work here in Mexico over the next few months as the political situation hopefully improves and we can de-risk this project further and create some value for our shareholders. This has seen now 12,000 meters of drilling, and we'd like to add to that over the coming year or so. So in terms of a summary of our recent milestones and next steps on the corporate level, we've recently closed a $3.6 million non-brokered 4-month hold financing. We've increased our Tombstone property ownership to 78.7%. At Tombstone, we've completed over the last couple of years core drilling and RC, and we're about to start an additional 5,000 meter program, which will include both RC and Corp. And at Cervantes, we'll be following up on our recent drill discovery with further field work over the coming months and potentially another drill program to be announced over the next year. And so why should investors have a look at us? I think, we're still attractively valued at under $30 million with 2 drilled discoveries in Sonora and Arizona. We're increasing our ownership of Tombstone, and we already own 100% of Cervantes. We have good institutional backing and strategic backing from Alamos Gold and Crescat Capital now. And we are now at the stage where we're confident to drill test our CRD target at depth, and that'll be coming over the summer as well. So some exciting catalysts, and we think we're positioned to add value to our shareholders here if we're successful, and hopefully as well riding a tailwind of breakout really in the gold and silver price, which is great timing for us to be aggressively exploring. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that might come up.
Okay, thanks a lot, Simon. Yes, like Simon said, we can get started on the Q&A. Just as a reminder to everyone on the line, you can type your questions into the chat box at any time. So Simon, we've got a couple of questions. You talked about, the upcoming program at Tombstone. Can you maybe just give some more detail on timing and when you expect to get started and maybe start seeing results?
Yeah, absolutely. So we expect to get started in the first half of June, and that will be a single shift of RC drilling, which is what we drilled last autumn. And the results we can expect to see results within 2 to 3 weeks of the lab receiving the samples. So I would anticipate July, August, we would start to see some shallow gold silver results from the RC portion of the drilling.
Okay. Do you have any met work planned? I know you mentioned, you're still sort of in the discovery exploration stage, but any met work you see? We haven't commissioned any met work for Tombstone yet. We've done work at Cervantes. We do plan to do some over the next year, but at this point, our priority is to continue to drill the discovery. And we do know that from historic production records that the gold and the silver mineralization was leachable, but we obviously want to study that and quantify that by third party at the appropriate time. Okay. The new claims that were staked in your press release yesterday, do you have anything planned for that?
Yes, we do. Those will be prospected and mapped over the course of the drill program. So we do have a contingent of geologists that are coming to support the drill program, and on off days they'll be walking the new claims. That's a great point, actually. The claim acquisition that we made increased our property footprint by about 47%. And thanks for mentioning that, Alina, because I glossed over that. But we still feel that there are good opportunities to expand the Tombstone land package, and we've done so over the past 4 years, acquiring 5 patented claims, and now we've staked 31 additional unpatented claims. And we think that there's a potential to add to that land package opportunistically as various private land parcels come up for sale.
Okay. Are there any royalties on the property, Simon?
No, there are no royalties on the Tombstone property. There is a 0.5% NSR on the Cervantes project, though.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for questions. Thank you so much, Simon, for taking time to host this webinar with us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting, and thank you everybody for listening.
Just as a reminder to our audience, our next webinar will feature Japan Gold, and that's on June 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in with us, everyone. Have a great day.